A lot of things the Packers just have to deal with. They have to really have a very small margin of error. Here's what they could do to sort of make this game interesting, to sort of even possibly upsetting the Cardinals. I'm not saying they're going to do it, but it's possible if they do this. Here's what they can do. You're going to have to play sort of a old style of football, and that is a run-first mentality. Why? Because Arizona Cardinals are an explosive offense. We're going to have to control the time of possession. And how do you do that? By running the football, doing 10, 13 plus plays, and making sure that that offense is off the field. So that way, your defense doesn't get exposed as much. The defense will be fresh, and you won't have to worry about Kyler Murray putting up 40 on you. If you control the time possession by a significant margin, then that means you're doing something right. That means that you are converting down the field. You're keeping the Arizona Cardinals offense off the field, and you're possibly scoring a bunch of touchdowns. What is good, everybody? Woo! Boy! Did y'all see that football game? Because I watched the entire football game. Everything that I said the Packers needed to do, they did it. And then absolutely. They ran the football like I say. And they ran it. They rushed for 151 yards. I think on 34 attempts with one touchdown. This is what I'm talking about. This is what, I don't know, people who don't try to outthink the room do. It's very simple, right? You don't have your top 3 receivers. You're playing a team that's undefeated with an explosive offense. And you're playing on Thursday night. So what do you need to do? What should be the most, reasonable thing that you should do? Oh! Give it to your 2 really good running backs. A.J. Dillon, Aaron Jones. That's what they did. Arizona Cardinals could not stop him. Aaron Jones, man, that touchdown that he... insane. Against Isaiah Simmons. Needs to go in the weight room because, oh my God. They were looking like little boys out there. A.J. Dillon, he needs more touches. He reminds me of like Nick Chubb. He reminds me of all of the just different running backs that are just hard to tackle. This guy right here, just his lower frame alone, like you don't want to tackle A.J. Dillon's legs because he will not be stopped, and it is insane. It's crazy. The defense was really good. Maybe Joe Barry being out was a good thing. You know what I mean? Because for the season, Joe Barry has been hit or miss, right? The defense has been playing well. I'm not going to say well, but they've been playing decent the last few weeks. But overall, I did not see this coming. I did not see a defense that was really keeping Kyler Murray at bay for the first 3 quarters. Now, the 4th quarter is a different story. But the first 3 quarters, Kyler Murray was looking very pedestrian, very average, very mediocre, I would say the least. And he had D-Hop. Yeah, D-Hop was sort of injury. But he still had AJ, he still had Christian Kirk, he still had Edmonds, he still had Moore. what was it? James Conner, who was rushing for like 2 touchdowns, and Zach Ertz. So he still had a bunch of weapons at his disposal. Yet the Green Bay Packers, without their 2 best defensive players, their 2 all-pro defensive players, plus you were missing your 2 starting corners. You're missing a lot of talent on defense. Yet they were still able to get to Kyler Murray. Just insane. And that's why you run the football. That's why you control the time possession. For crying out loud, the Green Bay Packers controlled the time of possession for 37 minutes. That is a recipe for success. My God, it's insane. It's like they watched my video. It's like the defensive coordinator watched my video before the game or something. Because everything I said, they did. Now, sure, it's not that complicated. I mean, any person with half a brain would do that. But still, you would be surprised how many coaches would just try to do something different. Try to think that they could just outsmart the room, right? But no, they kept it simple. They kept it... they just kept it simple, really. But just looking at some of the other things, I didn't like how the Packers... I didn't like the play calling for some of the red zone plays. It really made me scratch my head, like with Matt LaFleur. You pass on 2nd down, but then run on 3rd down in the red zone. Why would you do that? Like, that makes absolutely no sense. Just boneheaded mistakes like that. Getting a delay of game in the red zone. Like, oh my gosh, like, this is an NFL football. This is a contender. Like, y'all should not be doing this. I get it. They're young. But still, this should not be happening. So just some of those mistakes. And we were very fortunate. The Green Bay Packers were very fortunate that A.J. Green forgot how to play the wide receiver position. Because at the end of the game, what was his name? Rasul Douglas, I believe, the cornerback, was very fortunate. Obviously, it was a very simple play. It was like a fade route, I believe it was. And A.J. Green, for some reason, forgot that he was in the game. And, yeah, Kyler Murray could throw it to him. Because, if I'm not mistaken, D-Hop was hurt at the time. I don't recall D-Hop being in that play. Maybe he was, maybe he not, but I don't remember. If D-Hop wasn't in that play, who else was Kyler Murray going to throw to? Especially if you have a guy who's on the practice squad that y'all released and the Green Bay Packers just picked up like maybe, I don't know, like 10, 15 days ago. Of course he's going to go to you because he expects that you would be a practice squad cornerback. But anywho, Rasul Douglas, that was a clutch play. I was very stunned. I was very concerned. I thought that the Cardinals were going to score. So yeah, I was happy with the defense because usually we don't get those type of plays, right? It was reminiscent of Malcolm Butler in the Super Bowl, you know, because remember Malcolm Butler, he had like a sort of a similar play in that stadium too, which is insane. But yeah, so that's just some things that I just couldn't believe. Aaron Rodgers, he did what he had to do. He was everything that I expected. He didn't need to try to throw for 4 touchdowns. I wasn't expecting him to throw 4 touchdowns. And I think that was the whole idea. Like, play off the running backs and then everything will take care of itself. And he threw for 2 touchdowns. Sure, he didn't get 200 yards. But at the end of the day, it was about the running game, not the passing. That was the game plan. And he did everything that needed to be done. He didn't turn the ball over. What did I say in my past video? They needed to have a small margin of error. They didn't commit any errors, right? They didn't turn the ball over at all. And that is huge. That's insane. No fumbles, no nothing. It was clean football. And that's how they won the game. Time possession, significantly. They rushed the ball really well. No turnovers. That's a recipe for success. That is what the elite teams do, and the Green Bay Packers proved that they are a elite team and they should be taken seriously because they had so many injuries, and they were still able to fight an uphill battle and win this game. And now, if you're a Green Bay Packer fan and you're trying to figure out, okay, are we good? Y'all are really good, and you should be optimistic about the future because you were missing all those guys. And imagine when all those people come back, the Jair Alexanders, the Zendarius Smiths, and then the top 3 receivers, and etc., right? David Bakhtiari. Imagine when all those people come back, already added to the 7-1 team. I'm just looking at the schedule. They have the Los Angeles Rams. They have the Chiefs. They have the Vikings. And they have the Seahawks. Russell Westbrook might come back. And I forgot what other team they have. Oh, the Baltimore Ravens. So they're going to have some teams, really good teams coming out they're going to have to face. And beating a team that's undefeated, that is a huge sign of good things to come. And if they can rack up some more wins and beat these contenders, because Arizona, people were saying, was the top team in the league. So you beat that team, hey, you can beat any team. And I think that week 1, that was a visage. That was not who the Green Bay Packers were, and I knew it. And I'm just glad that they were able to correct those mistakes and play sound football, because now things get interesting in the NFC because you have Aaron Rodgers. The defense is playing extremely well, and once the team gets healthy, I remember Aaron Rodgers compared this team to the 2011 team that won the Super Bowl. Hey, it's looking more and more like it, especially since of the injuries, because they were sort of banged up in like beginning, middle of the year, but then they started getting healthy. They started getting to their stride, and they got on the roll. And this could be implied as well, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to be standing in your way. The Los Angeles Rams are going to be standing in your way. So it's going to still be, and the Arizona Cardinals. I can't sleep on the Arizona Cardinals as well, because they're still a really good football team. Oh my gosh. They're going to be standing in your way.